God. I wasn't going to do this video, but had to do something. And if I have anybody to blame for this, let me lay this on my one and only subscriber, Bigfoot Prepper. Yeah, the hat's probably politically incorrect now, and I probably should burn it because they might come after me. But, different story. I was thinking about doing this video for a few days, and I don't know, I thought it was maybe dated, and I wasn't sure, but we're going to call this one something to the effect of HR 127, President Harris. Let's see what sticks. I thought I'd leave the politics alone, but had to go to town today. I'm kind of rural, so it's about 7-10 miles to our little town and pick up a few grocery items and hit the feed store. And after I get out and deal with the mask holes, I kind of get irritated by the time I get home. So I'm in a mood. Trigger warning. This could be a rant. Let's start with HR 127. Everybody's focused on this heinous, to put it mildly, gun control bill. And rightly so. The speculation from most is that, it's not going to pass. You know, and then I've heard the cuts by 1,000, or death by 1,000 cuts scenario, which is probably accurate, although when you look at the last year and the fact of what they've done already via executive orders and so forth, this spiteful waste of our taxpayers' money to impeach a former president, just, I don't know, to make an example of him and anybody that might have supported him. It's just ridiculous. But everything they've done pretty much for most of my lifetime has been ridiculous. But let's get back to 127. There's no point going into what it says. Everybody knows this already. It's pretty much bend over, grab your ankles, give your gun, take your $200, yada, yada, yada. But here's the danger with that. I think partly it's a smokescreen. And I'm sad to say I've got two things to apologize for. One is I was born in San Jose, California. Now, fortunately, we escaped in 1967, but I have to apologize for that. And second, now I find myself apologizing for spending most of my life in Texas. 6 of the most heinous bills, gun control-wise, this year so far have come out of the great state of Texas. Now, I told them back in the 80s when they were wanting business and soliciting all these people from Silicon Valley, come on out here, cheap taxes, cheap real estate, we want you, that it was a bad idea. Now, at the time, to be honest, I wasn't thinking politics, but I knew what they had done to San Jose and the surrounding communities over the time frame. We went back for a short period of time in 76, and then I came to Texas in early 77. So just in that 67 to 76, that 9-year time frame, I saw what they'd done, and then I went back once, I think about 89, with this notion of moving back there. And you know the old adage, you can't go home. Well, it was a shithole then, and I can only imagine it now. I'm sure there's a lot of San Jose that looks like Nancy Pelosi's district. At the time in 89, the Vietnamese had pretty much taken the place over. So anyway. But 127 is this gigantic nuclear bomb, and everybody's looking at the flash and the mushroom cloud and shit. But there's also 5 other heinous bills that came out of the great state of Texas. Now, granted, these are Democrats that did it. 4 of these bills came from the I believe it's Lee out of Houston, that district that includes 127. But there's a couple things to worry about, and I don't know that we can do anything about any of them, but don't get too absorbed in 127, because you're watching 127 and, oh, shit, it didn't pass, it's not going anywhere, and they'll slip something else in. And the other thing is, if you throw enough excrement against a wall, some of it's going to stick. So they're going to get something out of this, and it's not going to be good. Any of it's not good. I mean, the NFA of 1936 was unconstitutional. The Gun Control Act of 1968 was unconstitutional, but our Supreme Court has upheld those and a number of other heinous rights or infringement on our rights of our Second Amendment. You know, so something's going to stick. So you need to watch all around. Not that we can do anything. People have said, you know, call your representative, send emails and shit. I'm firmly convinced by now that other than a small handful of people in our federal government that supposedly represent us, nobody gives a shit. They don't give a damn what you think, even if they're your representative or your senator. Now, week before election they do, but other than that, they don't give a shit. And they figure, which is true, that most of us are stupid enough that we'll forget what they didn't do, or they'll blame it on somebody else, and we'll go ahead and pull the lever and vote for the shitheads again. So that's what we need to look at, concern ourselves with 127. It's not that so much, although as weird as this last year has been, dadgum thing might just ram through like it is. I mean, I'm sure they'd love it, but I think they really seriously don't think. They threw everything in that one bill thanks to probably Bloomberg. It's everything out of that, I can't think of his organization right now. He's been pumping a whole bunch of money down into Texas here as of late. And I'm sure it's mostly designed as a smokescreen for, you know, it's one of those deals. Let's ask them give us $10 million. Fuck no, we're not going to give you nothing. And then you work it down to 100,000 and go, well, that ain't so bad. We can live with that. That's kind of the part of the premise on 127. And the other is that one will fail and some of these others will slip through. That's enough of that. You've been bannered by 127 and this gun control BS, and there's really nothing we can do about it. Best advice is to buy a boat and have an accident. That's all I can say about that. I'm not going to go into any more details. Now let's talk about President Harris. A lot of people are under the assumption, maybe rightly so. Now this is specifically my opinion, and not that I necessarily believe it, but it's an interesting theory, let me put it that way, on that deal, is that they will pull the 25th on, I can't say the word, bastard Biden, and slip old heels up into the presidency. I was thinking about this one day, and I got kind of a warped and twisted sense of humor anyway. And I thought, you know what? Harris might be Biden's insurance policy. Now, this is kind of far out there. You might want to double wrap your tinfoil hats right now. But it's hard to deny tinfoil after 2020, isn't it? But let's think about this for just a second. Now, surely the radical left probably likes, maybe even loves Kamala. There's a lot of moderate Democrats. And there's a bunch of moderate Democrats that have bought a lot of guns in the last year, too. But I'm not sure that all the Democrats want heels up as president. Now, if you're a doddering old fool but had moments of lucidity, maybe you'd pick a vice presidential candidate that nobody would want as president, as maybe an insurance policy that they wouldn't run you out of town on the first rail and bucket of tar and feathers that they ran across. Just a slight theory. It's amusing, if nothing else. And that's my 2 cents on that. Let's see if we can throw something else in here just for time allotment, so on and so forth. What else is going on besides the mask holes and the useless vax and other things that I probably can't talk about? I don't have to worry about getting demonetized. This is only my first real video, so they nuked my channel. What the F? I do want to kind of do a slight shout out to Bigfoot Prepper, Prepper Nation, Northern Girl Hobbies, Lake Ferry Prepper, definitely Arkansas Living. Love Arkansas Living. Gray Man Prepping, and some of these others. I've been watching YouTube for a few years. I had a little tussle with cancer about 5.5 years ago, and found myself sitting in a chair 23.5 hours a day because I basically couldn't get out of it. And after I exhausted all the hot rod and rat rod building videos and all the machinist videos and all the woodworking videos, and then we got into the building guns videos, and then the survivalist videos, and the bushcraft videos, and the prepper videos. I really like this StreamYard platform, and everybody, as of late, now maybe I'm just noticing it, but seems to me as of late, everybody's picking this up, and I find this very interesting and funny. It might have been an Arkansas Living Live that Victor was on. That's the first time I'd laughed hard in over a year. You know, everybody's had kind of a shitty time this past year. You know, you can find your good moments here and there, but let's face it, overall, 2020 was at best a dumpster fire. No good came of it, really. I mean, indirectly it did, you know, but not a banner year. And then I started off by late 2019, mid to late 2019. My liver tried to take me out, and then about the time I started to get better, first of the year, my father passed away, and then we came up here and started cleaning up and doing this, and then the COVID 1984 rolled in, and well, we all know what happened after that. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. And I don't sleep much anymore. I hadn't slept good in over a year. And so get up in the middle of the night, and because my shoulders hurt and all the stupid nightmares and crap. It's nice to see y'all bullshitting for 5, 6, 7 hours. Y'all can go further than I can, because I usually can't even make it through, and I've been dismayed on a couple of videos where by the time I came back to watch the end of it, it had been deleted. But, you know, but shout out to all you guys out there on YouTube land, especially all the preppers. Probably most of the ones that might see this, because Bigfoot was going to try to give me a little shove. I really don't care. This is a little bit kind of almost therapy for me. Not really therapy so much, but I'm about to go stone crazy here. I'm not really social, but being stuck here, not wanting to deal with mask holes, not wanting to go deal with new places. Am I going to have to put a mask on? And, you know, if I don't, are they going to fight me? And so I just don't go anywhere unless I absolutely have to, which really stinks. I had a long list of plans for what would happen if I got to move up here, and pretty much all of them are in the wastebasket now. And I'm kind of convinced ain't nothing going to go back like the way it was. This COVID's going to be here for a long time. And if not, they're going to push the next variant or the next deal or whatever. And by then, they'll probably be loading us into train cars anyway, so whatever. And I suppose before I go down that horrible rabbit hole, I'll let y'all go. Y'all have a good day, and we'll see you again.